The ballroom of the Astoria Grand glowed under crystal lights, filled with luxury decor and guests who looked just as expensive. My parents' 30th wedding anniversary was everything people expected from the owners of Anderson Holdings: grand, polished, and built to impress. I smoothed my plain black dress, knowing it stood out among the glittering designer outfits around me. That was intentional. I liked simplicity. It kept expectations low. Across the room, my brother Daniel's voice rose above the crowd as he entertained a group of investors, proudly talking about his latest business win. Same Daniel, always loud, always admired. Elena. My mother's voice snapped me back. She leaned in for an air kiss, careful not to disturb her flawless makeup. "You finally arrived," she said, scanning me quickly, "though you really could have dressed more appropriately for such an event." I swallowed my response. My dress cost more than her entire outfit, but she didn't need to know that. Letting people underestimate me had always worked in my favor. "Happy anniversary, Mom," I said calmly, handing her a neatly wrapped gift. She weighed it in her hand, disappointment already visible. How thoughtful. I knew it felt light compared to Daniel's gift, first-class tickets for a luxury world cruise. My father joined us, champagne glass raised. "Elena, still running that little shop of yours?" It wasn't a shop. It was a tech company focused on AI-driven security systems, but they'd never taken the time to understand that. "The business is doing well, Dad," I replied. Daniel strolled over, his new Rolex flashing under the lights. "Doing well," he laughed. "That's what people say when they're barely surviving. So how many employees now?" "6," I answered with a smile. The truth was over 3,000 employees across 12 countries. "Just enough to get things done," I added. Daniel turned to our parents. "See, while I'm closing billion-dollar deals, Elena's still playing entrepreneur with her cute little startup." Mom touched my arm gently. "Sweetheart, there's always a place for you at Anderson Holdings. You could help manage the smaller accounts." "I'm good, Mom," I replied. "Really?" Daniel smirked and pulled out his phone. "Then you'll appreciate this. Anderson Holdings just acquired Iron Gate Technologies. I handled the deal myself." Our parents beamed. Iron Gate Technologies was a mid-sized security firm and one of my competitors. "Impressive," I said, sipping my champagne. $200 million, Daniel bragged. Hard to imagine numbers like that when you're counting profits in thousands. If only he knew how closely I'd been watching that deal and every move Anderson Holdings had made over the past year. "Tell them about the expansion," Dad encouraged. "Well," Daniel said proudly, "now that we control Iron Gate's contracts, we're launching a new AI division. We'll dominate the market before any small players even try." He looked straight at me. I checked my watch. Almost time. Mom noticed. "Still wearing that old thing?" "Daniel just bought 3 new Patek watches," she added. "Actually 4, Daniel corrected. When you handle billion-dollar deals, image matters." He glanced at my dress. "Is that outfit from last season?" "Something like that," I said as my phone vibrated in my clutch. "If you're struggling," Daniel continued, "I could throw you a few small contracts, family loyalty and all." The air felt heavy. I knew what was coming. "That's generous," I replied. Then my phone rang. The caller ID read, "Victor Wong, CFO." "Excuse me, I need to take this." Mom sighed. "At our anniversary party?" "Must be trouble in the little shop," Daniel joked. I answered and put it on speaker. "Miss Anderson?" Victor said clearly. "I'm pleased to inform you the merger is complete. You now own 60% of Anderson Holdings." My mother's champagne glass slipped and shattered on the marble floor. The room went silent. "What did you say?" my father whispered. I raised one finger. "Thank you, Victor. Is everything ready for tomorrow's board meeting?" "Yes, ma'am. Emergency session scheduled for 9 a.m. Press release prepared." "Proceed," I said. Phones across the ballroom began buzzing. Daniel grabbed his phone, color draining from his face. This can't be real. We'd know if someone was buying shares. Would you? I asked softly. Like you knew Iron Gate Technology's real value before overpaying? Dad scanned the headlines. Silent acquisition, shell companies, private equity, accumulated over 18 months. 19, I corrected. Mom collapsed into a chair. But your small business. Sentinel AI, I said clearly, currently valued at $8.2 billion. It was small 3 years ago. Daniel stared. That's impossible. I handle all major acquisitions. For Anderson Holdings, I finished, the same company that bought obsolete technology. You let me buy Iron Gate Technologies, Daniel said. You knew. Yes, I replied calmly. That's what happens when you skip due diligence. I showed him documents. Their major clients already signed with Sentinel AI through subsidiaries. Dad stepped forward. We're family. Let's talk. I laughed quietly. Was it family when you said women in tech were just a trend? The screens in the ballroom switched to breaking news. My face appeared beside the headline. Sentinel AI acquires Anderson Holdings in surprise $6.8 billion deal. Daniel staggered. $6.8 billion? How? Remember the cryptocurrency investment you mocked 5 years ago? I asked. That was my seed money. Board members approached. Henry Morrison nodded respectfully. Miss Anderson, the board supports your leadership. Dad tried again. We can work something out. Dad, I said gently, I am keeping it in the family. Stock prices surged. You're welcome, I added. Your shares just went up 40%. You're minority shareholders now. Mom asked softly, what about Daniel? He keeps his job, I answered, just not as co-CEO. Regional sales manager seems fitting. You can't do this, Daniel shouted. I showed him reports. Your market share has declined for 2 years. Morrison cleared his throat. We should prepare tomorrow's announcement. I nodded, and reassure everyone this remains a family business. Dad sighed. All those times we dismissed you. Taught me everything, I said. Never interrupt someone who underestimates you. I raised my glass. To family. And to business. As I walked out, Morrison asked, why let them announce Iron Gate Technologies today? I smiled. Because everyone deserves one last moment of glory. The night air was cool. My Tesla pulled up. Your 9 p.m. Tokyo call is ready, my assistant said. Tell them I'm on the way, and schedule a family dinner next week. As the car drove off, I saw Daniel watching from the window. He finally understood. Never judge the quiet one.